So today we're talking about decimals. We're thinking about the rules of math and how they apply to decimal numbers. We have to first understand what the rules of math are. So let's think about our operations. To add terms, they must have the same units. They must have the same units. Whereas multiplication changes the units, right? It's all about the units. And this was our key understanding for how we do operations with fractions. It's also how we do operations with big and small numbers. So if I have 3 investments that are each worth $2 million, my units are still $1 million, right? 3 times 2 $1 million. 3 times 2 is 6. It's $6 million. The same thing here. 3 times 2 in the millions place. 6 in the millions place. $6 million. Same thing with fractions. If I have 3 screws that are each 5/8 inch, well, screws doesn't make much sense. 3 pieces of plywood that are 5/8 of an inch thick. 3 times 5/8. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 5 is 15. What? 15/8. 3 times 5 is 15. So back that up a bit. 3 times 5/8 is 15/8. Right, let's keep going. Let's say 3 times well, what is that? That's 3 tenths, hundredths, thousandths. 3 times, let's make that not a 1, let's say 5. 3 times 5 thousandths. Thousandths. 3 times 5 is 15. I have 15 thousandths. Okay. We could do this the long way. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 0 is 0 plus 1 is 1. 3 times 0 is 0. And I see my 15 here, but what place is that? Well, the decimal's over here. I could just bring it down. Well, is that right? We have to understand fractions and place value if we can understand where to put the decimal place here. Right? When I saw, what's that, 6 million? 6 million, or starting with 2 million up there. 2 million means 2 times million. Just like 6 million meant 6 times a million. Just like 5/8 means 5/8. And that's how we associate 3 and 5 together, 15/8. Well, it's the same thing here. This is the tenths place. So I call that 0 tenths, 0 hundredths, 5 thousandths. 3 times 5 thousandths. And now we're back to the realm of fractions. 3 times 5 is 15. I have 15 thousandths. 15 thousandths, right? But I don't just want that word, I want it as a decimal. So I look at 15 rather take that back. I look at my place value system, ones, then tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So I write 15 in the thousandths place. But I don't just write point blank 15. How do I fill in that blank with a 0? 0.015. So the decimal place is out here, then we have 0.15. Let's do another one. Okay. 0.02 times 0.35. 135, why not? So that 2 is in the hundredths place, right? Ones, then tenths, then hundredths. That's 135 in the tenths, hundredths, thousandths place. What's my actual multiplication? It's just 2 times 135. 2 times 135. 10, 6, 2. I have 270. 100 times 1,000, we call that 100,000. So on the decimal scale, going ones, then tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths, 100,000ths. So 270 100,000ths. Fill in my zeros, 0, 0, 2, 7, 0. And this 0 isn't giving me any additional information, right? I could keep on doing all this. I don't have any of these or those or those. It's just like writing why would you ever do that? It's just 600. I don't have any thousands or 10,000s, so we don't write those, and we don't write these. It's just 0.0027. If we go back to our traditional way of doing things, where we write point here, write 0.0 here, I just count. I had 3 decimals here, that meant I had thousandths. I had 2 decimals here, that meant I had hundredths. So I have to show that this is 270 100,000ths. So instead of putting it with a decimal here, which is 270 in the ones place, now it's 270 in the tenths place. Now it's 270 in the hundredths place, and so on. Move it over 3 for the thousandths, right? 270 in the thousandths place. And then 2 more for the hundredths. And that's how I get 0.0027, and don't write the extra 0. The quick way to think through this, or to do this without even thinking, is just counting the decimal place values, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I move it. 1, 2, 3 for thousandths, 4, 5 for the hundredths. And that's how I get 0.0027. It's not because there are 4 numbers here. It's because there are 5 numbers past the decimals. I moved it 5 places. Then this happened to work out to 0. So that's why it only turns out to 4 numbers past the decimal. So that's how we multiply decimals.